Hello, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to talk about mindset. And I'm going to ask you, do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch the rest of this video. This is probably the most important video I've ever created, and it might just change your life. So, growth mindset or fixed mindset? Which do you believe and which do you choose to believe? That's what I'm going to talk about today. And what prompted me to do this video is I just saw an interview with Bilyeu interviewing Stanford psychology professor Carol Dweck, where she talks about fixed mindset and growth mindset. And this stuff is stuff we've all kind of heard about over the years, but now there's scientific evidence to back it up. So what's the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset? Well, people that have a fixed mindset, they believe that people have a set of innate abilities, intelligence, skill, or talent, and that it's fixed. And that is where the majority of the population resides. Those people believe that people who have achieved a high degree of talent have a gift. That they have a gift. And I hear that all the time. Oh, you're so lucky you have this gift. I used to get really uncomfortable when people said that for a couple of reasons, which I'll get into later. And I realize now why. It's because those people have a fixed mindset. Now, a growth mindset, on the other hand, believes that talent or skill or whatever is a result of working to learn more skills, more knowledge, and continually improve on the path to who you can become. And if you have a growth mindset, you believe there is no way to predict your future potential based on where you are now. It only manifests itself after years and years of pushing your limits to learn new skills, new knowledge, all in furtherance of the passion that you have in your life. So I'm going to talk now about a few specifics in this. So one of the things that we do if we are in a fixed mindset is we compare ourselves to other people. And then often negatively impacting ourselves, and then we don't try in those things. And I'm actually going to reference it to my story. So when I was young, my parents brought me up believing I could achieve anything I wanted to. And I really believed that up until I was around 21 years old, and I was pursuing my career to become an artist. And I was surrounded by all of these people who were more talented than I was. And I was not having incredible success. And by the time I was 21, I was a starving designer. I'd been laid off 3 different jobs. And I just reached the conclusion that I was not talented enough to pursue a career as an artist. And so I decided to leave it and pursue the police force because I wanted a job and I wanted to make some money. Well, when I thought I wasn't talented enough to have a career as a successful artist, I was right at that time. What's important with the growth mindset is you add the word yet. I was not talented enough yet to pursue a career as a successful artist. And I gave up on that dream because I thought if I wasn't talented enough yet, I would never be talented enough. But over the years, I continued to paint as a hobby. And then, as I'd mentioned before, I read the article by Harley Brown where he said, it's not about talent, it's not about some gift, it's all about how hard you're willing to work to get you where you want to be. Which, unbeknownst to Harley Brown, probably is basically the thesis of the growth mindset. It's not about where you are now, it's where you can become, and that potential is limitless. As soon as I took and I didn't even believe Harley Brown necessarily. I wanted to believe him, but I made a pact with myself that I would act as though he was right for 1 year. And I would go about, rather than shying away from those things I was not good at, I would attack those things and make them my strengths. And what happened was revolutionary. My life changed. By the end of the year, I'd made incredible progress. I kept doing that until I reached a point 4 years later where my wife encouraged me to quit my job as a police officer and to pursue my art career, because I had a growth mindset from kind of birth to 21 years of age. And then I adopted a fixed mindset until I was in my mid-30s, and Harley Brown unlocked that door, and I once again adopted a growth mindset, and my life changed. And so that's another thing. Are you in a growth mindset or are you in a fixed mindset? It's like, people in a fixed mindset say, well, I'm good at this, but I'm not good at that. So I'm going to stay over here where I'm good, and I'm going to avoid that thing where I'm bad. And artists have a tendency to do that as well, which is why they end up staying where they are and never growing. There are so many sayings that over the years have come up that reflect this, but now the science proves it. Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are right. And that's the fixed or the growth mindset. If you believe you can, you're right, you can. If you believe you can't, you won't. And let's talk about some of the other things that Carol Dweck has found that has been really important. And one of those things is how we deal with failure. There's a huge, huge fear in our society to risk failure and to be seen as a failure, or to be humiliated because you fall flat on your face. And what they found is people with a fixed mindset look at a failure as just reinforcement that they can't do that thing that they're trying to do. Whereas people with a growth mindset, they look at failures as something that are inevitable, because the other thing that people with a growth mindset do is they constantly challenge themselves. Well, if you challenge yourself, you are going to have failures. But then it becomes, how do you deal with it? Do you then scurry back into your fixed mindset and say, well, I can't do that? Or what people with a growth mindset do is they say, how can I learn from this to move forward? And actually welcome the opportunity to fail. And if you've seen my video on process or product, that's it. Process mode, right when you go into it, you give yourself permission to fail. But what I realized is this has larger connotations than just painting. It's about life in general. We spend a lot of our life in product mode, where we're doing the things we're good at to achieve a certain result. But if that's all you ever do, then you stay the same. If you spend some of your life in process mode, which is trying things that you aren't good at to try and gain new skills, and accept that some of them are not going to work out, you are going to continually increase your skill set, your knowledge, and go on to do greater things in your life. So I talked about how I used to feel very uncomfortable when people would say, and still say to me, oh, you're so lucky you have this gift. And now I know why. Because that is the ultimate expression of the fixed mindset. And it diminishes both the person you're saying that to, and it also diminishes yourself. So let's look at how I used to react when people, like for me, it was a more selfish reaction. People would say, you're so lucky you have this gift. And I would get my back up because it's like, no, like luck is winning the lottery. I'm lucky I'm tall. I'm not lucky that I can paint like this. I can paint like this because of a dedicated practice over my entire life, but 20 years specifically, painting almost every day to try and improve my skills, improve my knowledge so that I can paint better paintings. That's why I can paint like this. It's not a gift that anyone gave me. And to me, it feels very diminishing when someone says, oh, you're lucky you have this gift. Like I just woke up and could do this. But and so I used to argue with people, and then I realized that I'm coming off kind of egotistical and that I'm also offending some people's religious beliefs. So I would just say thank you. But now I realize there's an even more important reason why that whole thing is wrong. Because if you believe that I have a gift, and that's why I've been able to achieve the skills, knowledge, etc. that I have to paint the way I have, to have the career that I have. If you believe that it's because I have some gift, then the corollary of that is likely that you believe you don't have the gift. And so then it becomes, why should I even try? He has the gift. Obviously, he is so much better than I am. I could never do that because I don't have the gift. So why should I try? And that's actually how I felt from 21 till I was in my mid 30s, and I read Harley Brown's interview where he said it's all about hard work. And so again, when you believe that people have gifts that have achieved great ability, you're not doing a service either to that person or to yourself and what you might achieve. One of my favorite quotes, it wasn't in this particular video of Tom Bilyeu, but it was another one that someone said, is that you don't get to make me extraordinary or gifted to use that as an excuse for your lack of success. Because there's nothing extraordinary about me. I'm not gifted. I just worked really, really hard over a number of years to achieve where I am now. And where I am now is not even close to where I'm going, because it's like, that's the other thing of the growth mindset, is you're always looking to improve. You're always looking to take on new skills that have some utility for what it is you want to achieve. You think in terms of, who do I want to become, and what is the life I want to live, and then what do I have to do to get there? And it's a long journey, and it's a struggle. In our society, we tend to kind of look down on struggle as a bad thing. But struggle is a good thing. Struggle is working incredibly hard to achieve something you want to achieve. And it builds character, and it builds self-esteem. This whole self-esteem culture about telling everyone they're special just for arriving here on this planet has been a failed strategy. What really builds self-esteem is when people tackle tough challenges and succeed, or tackle tough challenges, fall flat on their face, get up, and move forward again. And again, that's all the growth mindset. So I'm going to put this into context to, again, that whole thing of how we compare ourselves to other people. And so, I'm going to ask you, who is more talented, me or Brooke Cormier, the young artist that I'm mentoring? And your initial response, I hope, probably is going to be, well, Tim is much more talented, and Brooke is not as talented as Tim. But that question is only correct. That answer is only correct if you put yet on the end of it. Brooke does not have the same level of skills, theoretical knowledge, creativity, and experience that I do, which is what I believe makes up talent. Not yet. But I firmly believe that she will, at a certain point, surpass me in all of those things, because she's so much further ahead than I was at that age. I was where Brooke is now when I was like 36, 37 years old. She's 22 years old. She has the same set of skills, knowledge, and ability that I had when I left the police force. But I had no one helping me. I had no one mentoring me. I was just kind of trying all these different things and learning from successes, learning from failures, but had no real plan. She has the benefit of having me as a mentor to help direct her about what she needs to do and what skills she needs to acquire. And she has an incredibly open growth mindset where she knows that she can achieve whatever she wants just by gradually working on the things that you need to work on at that moment, continually advancing yourself towards becoming the person you need to be to do the things you want to do. And another thing that just recently I did, and some of you have commented on it, and so I thought this just goes perfect into that whole growth mindset. I posted a video yesterday about the Archangel Moonshot Challenge. So Archangel is an organization founded by Giovanni Marcetti, and they do a lot of conferences, but it's all about entrepreneurs who are of the growth mindset, who believe we can achieve whatever we put our minds to, but also with a real focus on having a positive impact on society. And so I'm going to that conference in September in Toronto, and they've launched a competition where you can put a 1-minute video, submit your submission for your moonshot, which is if they were to give you $50,000 to help your business create more positive impact, what would you do with it? So that was my video, and if you haven't seen it already, you can click it. It's the one that came on just before this. And my moonshot is to take that $50,000 and use that to grow the YouTube channel by hiring someone to do a lot of the videos. I'm happy with the videos I'm putting out now, but my main focus is here painting. So we're shooting just with an iPhone, and I'm doing things that I can do very, very simply. We actually have an incredible amount of equipment here and could shoot much more videos. I would like to go out and interview more artists. I have a whole grand vision of where this channel could be. The problem is time, and the time is also in editing the videos. So if I just put it on me and talk, that's a pretty simple edit. If I want to get into more involved videos and demonstrating more techniques, I plan on doing a watercolor series. That is going to involve an incredible amount of editing, and I don't have the time to do that. So I would hire someone to do that, as well as use some of that money to boost a lot of social media posts to promote the channel so that we can reach more people and have more impact. So anyways, that's kind of what that's about. But again, just getting back to that growth mentality, it's kind of like, you know, I'm doing this on a public stage. I will either get picked for the short list of 20 who get interviewed and then potentially go on to the 5 who go on stage, or I won't. People in a fixed mindset would say, well, I don't even want to try because I'm afraid to fail, or I'm certainly not going to do it in a public arena because I'm afraid to fail, because that says something about me, where my perspective is totally the opposite. My perspective on this, I've already succeeded, because my goal was to produce a 1-minute video that really accurately and effectively kind of communicated my passion for helping to empower other artists to achieve their dreams. And so I shot that in the weekend. It took me about 40 takes to get that right, but I finally got it. And just submitting, that was where I gauged success. Now, if nothing happens and I don't make it to the final 20, I'm still thrilled that I did it. If I make it to the final 20, even then my goal will not be to get on stage. My goal will be to give the best interview possible that I can do. And then if I get on stage, that's out of my hands. And then if I get on stage, my goal will again be to do the best presentation I can do. Whether I end up winning the prize or not is incidental. I actually am more excited about the potential challenge of getting up on stage in front of thousands of people and pitching my YouTube channel, and how I think that can impact not just a few artists here and there, but creative people around the world. So that's my talk on fixed mindset and growth mindset. And remember, it is a choice. The majority of people actually have a fixed mindset, but you can choose to stay there, or you can choose a growth mindset. And when I read that article from Harley Brown, where he said it's all about hard work, I made a conscious choice to behave as though that were true. And the results that I have seen caused me to believe it with all my heart. So that is it in a nutshell. I believe that all of us, the gifts that we receive, so if you're religious and you believe we receive gifts from God, those gifts we receive are only potential. What you do with that potential with the rest of your life, that ultimately is going to determine whether you become the person you need to be to live your dreams, or whether you look at other people living their dreams and choose to believe they've been given some gift. So thank you for your time. If you like this, please share it. If you know people who should hear this, then please share it with them. I'm going to post the link to the interview with Professor Dweck underneath here. I really encourage you to watch that and actually watch more of Tom Bilyeu's stuff. I think the guy's amazing. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and I welcome your comments and questions. And as always, I'm Tim Packer, and I thank you for your time.